I guess. Okay. Chapter 22, Ari. The pages about the American Civil War breeze past my eyes. Chapter 22, Ari. The pages about the American Civil War breeze past my eyes. My mind was completely clear, ready to absorb any information hidden in the paragraphs. After partying for 2 hours, we holed up in Papa's room to work on the homework we're due tomorrow. The more I read, the more I felt like my concentration was at its limits, and that the words would be in, etched in my brain. Ari, Ari, no, I remember. Ari, I remember everything. Across the history books, he motioned to the girls. They took out their phones and put their notes on Poppy's quilt. Yeah, everything. Closed the history book and motioned to the girls. They took out their phones and put their notes on his quilt. Poppy's quilt. Poppy's quilt. Ryan flung the door open. I'm going home. Wanna ride, honey? He looked around and his expression darkened. What are you guys doing? He asked, seeing us as still as statues. I couldn't answer him. That last memorized phrase was still echoing in my head. Shooting this shit. My own business, Brian, immediately replied. He was the only one who was quick with it in these situations. Are you spending the night here? He asked, staring at his sister inquisitively. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like Ryan was more possessive of Amelia than me. As predicted, he wasn't happy about her vague response. You're either going home or stay here. There aren't any other options. Yes, said harshly. Amelia snorted, hiding a derisive chuckle. Yes, stay here. Yeah, stay here, interjected Poppy. Yeah, stay here, interjected Poppy. Obviously, that made him more skeptical. He stared at us for a while, but we knew what the issue was. Brian, chill, we're here with her. It's just as Hunter and Jackson left, and I saw Marvin and the other guys home. You can go to bed with a clear conscience. Puppy puppy in her blabber mouth. I still had 50 pages to go. I could finish them. What do you mean by that, Poppy? What would change if they were still here? Brian was always paranoid. Had to study. My dad would kill me if I get another bad grade. Let's go downstairs, Ari. He addressed me unceremoniously. I was really, I was really hard to put up with Brian when he was in this kind of mood, for as much as he did to protect us. Sometimes it felt suffocating. I'll be back. I'll be back, I whispered to the girls before leaving the room. They went back to their notes, and I followed Brian to the stairs. There was another living soul there. I leaned against the rage rover as he stared at me, bewildered. I put his doubts to rest by grabbing him by his t-shirt. Art. If there's nobody here, I whispered before we left Smith. Besides, we were making out on the sidewalk. I didn't understand what the problem was. We've been together for 2 years, and we've been together for 2 years, and other than a few kisses, there was never anything else between us. He didn't have any problems down there. I was sure of that, but he seemed to ignore all other more inmates aspect of our relationships. And I stopped trying because were his rebuffs his rebuffs were too harsh. My hand grazed his chest. I felt his heart pounding. I felt his heart pounding under his shirt. I felt his heart pounding underneath his t-shirt as I caressed it. My breath wavered expectantly, hoping for a miracle like him tearing my dress off with his hands. But that never happened. I licked his lower lip and softly bit it. And Brian raised an eyebrow, a little confused. His finger gripped my hips. One, two, 3 seconds, then he pulled back again and bottled. I grabbed his hand and put it under my shirt. Not here, he said, pulling away from me immediately. Not here, not in the car, not in your room, not at my house. You never want you never want to anywhere. I said not here. I clenched my jaw and pulled away. He stopped me again. He was shattering my self-esteem for the millionth time. Why? I asked. Why was it that the only guy I liked didn't want me? What did all the other guys like me except for him? He said he loved me, but he didn't show it, and I couldn't stand that. He never talked to me about it either. He avoided the subject like he was embarrassed. I could never have a serious conversation with him about it. I was always scared of saying the wrong thing and upsetting him. But now that pill was making me more neurotic. I couldn't contain myself. He turned away from me without even answering. Brian. He didn't stop. He walked around the car. He act, his actions sparkled an unpredictable reaction in me. I moved next to him, and before he reached the car door, I pushed his head back. Ari, what's wrong with you? Why? I shouted exasperated. What? You never can. What are you saying? He knew perfectly well that he knew perfectly well what I was talking about. You don't want me. It's not a good time to talk about this stuff. I gotta go home, he said, calmly but resolutely. You don't want to talk about it with me. Brian was already close off and pretty averse to physical contact. But since his dad disappeared nearly a year ago, he got worse. He better kiss me. But then he got possessive and jealous. I saw him look around as if he wanted to make sure nobody had heard me. The the other day was deserted. Just it was just us. Now what's your problem? Do you think this worked for me, Brian? Would you prefer your boyfriend to jump on you? I looked down. What if I did? What are you saying, Ari? You're kidding, right? Brian has the ability to make me feel guilty every time I wanted to go further. Brian, you never complain. What's your problem? Normally this was when I apologized and everything would go back to the way it was. But not this time. Well, I'm sorry now. I'm sick of you. I turned around and left him there. I turned around and left him there. I turned around and left him there. Yeah. To the 23. To, to the 20, to the 23. To the 23. Jackson. James shook his head when he realized that I was driving to his house. Don't take me home. Can I crash at your place, James? Come on, Jack. It's because of your dad is giving you shit. What the fuck do I care about my dad? I don't want my brother to see me like this. Another day gave in to his request. Do you talk to Taylor after she told you off in theater class? I hope you're joking. He burst out laughing. No, she seemed really pissed. But why? Because she had a reason to be. He narrowed his blue eyes. Are you sliding? Are you siding with her now? No, but you fucking hurt her. I saw her grumble before putting a vape pen in his mouth. She did it to herself. I told her a million times that we aren't together. Did you tell Sammy, Becky, Poppy, Tiffany, etc.? He stared at me as if I just ground a third head. He stared at me as if I just grown a third head. Well, you say one thing, but then you do another. Why do you always go back to them? They always ended up hurting. They always ended up hitting you, James. He put his forehead on the window, chewing on the mouthpiece of the vape pen. He always did that when he was nervous. June wait away hates you, I added to get a reaction out of him, which came quickly. Why do you like her so much, Jax? I don't understand why my two best friends think so much of that pain in the ass. She told me to go fuck yourself and she punch you in the face. She can say what you want, but she doesn't take crap from anyone. You're you're a great a fucking masochist. He snapped. What the fuck does that have to do with someone telling you to go fuck yourself? Turns you on. What the hell is that called? I'm not a masochist. James, stop it. James, stop it. I can't stop. Except for when I let you stamp all over my heart. You pummel it more than you do. The punching bag in your room when you're letting off steam. She doesn't mind her fucking business. James' profile was a mixture of light and shadow as the street passed by. The perfect curve of his nose, the square jawline, his lips. Jax, Nico, Nico. What were we talking about again? Oh yeah, Junwei. Oh yeah, Junwei. And does that piss you off because she's a busybody or because she never give it up to you? James chuckled coarsely. Oh, Jackson, your grandma would give it up for me if I wanted her to. Hey, that's my grandma you're talking about. He wasn't even listening to me anymore. He looked out the window and finished his thoughts. But I definitely don't want to bang anyone who doesn't know how to go down on me. Why aren't you a modern Shakespeare? I mocked him. Maybe, maybe he knew June wasn't interested in him, and that's why he liked her. I know James since when I know James since we were little. I knew he wasn't a fan of easy stuff and that he could get without any effort. That bored him. And all the girls who surrounded him were proof of that. He loved the chance and excitement of conquering someone or something that nobody else could. But besides that, what's a fucking but besides that, what's a fucking problem? He added. Why? Because as soon as she finds something out, she wants to know more. The more she's up my ass, the more we're at risk. James was drunk, even though he seemed perfectly lucid. Then, did you think so? And I know how it's going to end with Will, he said with conviction. How? They they got together. Is that a bad thing? It could be the right thing for him. Something that he doesn't quite something that he doesn't quit at the first sight of difficulty. Bullshit. She dumped him and he'll suffer. And I'll starve. Is that why you don't want them to be together? James narrowed his eyes before exhaling a cloud of smoke. I'm going to destroy her if it's the last thing to do. I can, he concluded. I shook my head, but he looks too serious to be joking. James always felt protective of Williams. I couldn't blame him. It wasn't easy for Will to get into a relationship with someone. You're wrong. That's not how it's gonna go. I saw them on stage. They really like each other. I sucked him. I saw him suck the vape pen smoke greedily, as if he wanted to drink the whole thing in one drag. What stage? At the room window to get at the what stage? At the room window too to get all the smoke out. You weren't there. The kiss in theater class. He raised an eyebrow. In front of everyone? What does that weird you out? Does that weird you out, James? They fought. They fought because you made them fight. I corrected him. Bullshit, he retorted, it frustrated. It doesn't take it, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that Will's crazy about her. Yeah, I like a little gossip every once in a while. Bullshit. He repeated it before glaring at me. Look, don't talk to me anymore about that stupid fucking bitch. So so can I sit here with you? As long as you don't make Google eyes at my grandma. What the fuck are you talking about? He burst out laughing and looked outside again. The piercing on the left side of his mouth distracted me for a distracted me. For a moment, I lost sight of the road. I mean, the last time I saw you bantering with her in the kitchen, you were buttering her up. You were, you were buttering her up. I was just convincing her to make edibles out of out of her cake for me. Yeah, but telling her that she was the most beautiful girl you ever seen when she was young. But now she loves me. So shut up, Jax. Left together until we got to my house. I waited for James to finish raping and then turned the key while putting my fingers to my lips. Obviously, he didn't pay any attention to me and started laughing even louder as we entered the living room. He stumbled and as big of a guy as I was drunk, James was really heavy to support. Quiet down, for Christ's sake, I hissed under my breath. Shh. He whispered mysteriously in my ear. His warm breath gave me the chills. I felt my lips tremble. We got to my room. James kicked the door on the floor and took off the jacket and took off the jacket I loaned to him. He took off the jacket I loaned him. The light on the bed was dim. The shadows perfectly fell on the lines of his muscles and smooth. T- the lines on the bed was dim. The shadows perfectly fell on the lines of his muscles and smooth tan skin. The smooth tan skin. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm going to the bathroom. I murmured, leaving the provocative, leaving the provocative exhibition behind. I heard noises as I started brushing my teeth. I should have locked myself in because James snuck up behind me. After a few minutes, I jumped when I saw his face in the mirror. James, I asked my mouth. James, I asked my mouth. James, I asked with my mouth full of toothpaste. What do you want? Why are you taking off your clothes? I averted my gaze as his boxes hit hit the floor. And am I not allowed to take a shower? His back looked like an inverse triangle, wide up top and slender on the bottom. I fastened my eyes on every muscle and stopped right before his butt. What a fucking shit show. I thought to myself as he disappeared into the shower. I put on the usual t-shirt that I wore to bed and got under the covers. I stared at the ceiling until James got out of the bathroom with a white towel wrapped around his waist. Can I borrow your boxes? He asked. Yeah, I nodded. I nodded. He and then he rummaged through my underwear drawer. I looked at the TV to avoid watching him change. Fuck, I can fit in here. James curled his lips into a smirk, motioning to the mattress that I set up on the floor for him. You sleep here once. I've grown since we were in elementary school. 9 inches to be exact. No, fuck yourself. He reclined on the bed and I on a poster of Jacob Elordi in Euphoria hanging on the wall. He was talking about boxing, but his mysterious smile didn't go unnoticed. I don't like fighting, I muttered reluctantly. The sight of blood made me feel uncomfortable, and I couldn't stand violence. James on the, James on the other hand reveled in it. Not Tell me, Jax, was that better then? He pointed at the photo of a shirtless Jacob Elordi. James, the show that doesn't exactly glorify Nate's character. You know, that too is a criticism of him. I'm not talking, it's a criticism of him. I'm not talking about beating the crap out of anyone or hurting someone. I'm talking about the adrenaline rush of taking taking a risk, the freedom of being yourself, he answered, untangling his messy wet hair with his fingers. Are you telling me that beating the crap out of people is better than sex? It would be exaggerating, he grinned. It wouldn't be exaggerating, he grinned. He spread out on the pillow and I couldn't help but tease him. But tease him. 9 inches, huh? Jesus, such a dick. He, he playfully punched me in the side. Can I sleep here in your bed? He asked, motioning to the mattress that we lay on. I said, I'm a person to alleviate the tension. No. What's wrong? Are you afraid someone would touch your... What's wrong? Are you afraid someone would touch you in their sleep? I felt like I was burping. I felt like I was burning up. Sorry. I felt like I was burning. I felt like I was burning up. I had to get away from him. I had to get away from him. Let's do this. I sleep in the mattress and you sleep here. I declare as I got up. James looked incredulous, but James looked incredulous. His blue eyes stared at me suspiciously. Really? Everyone, everyone knew I wasn't exactly Mr. Nice Guy. I would have kicked Marvin ass before I stepped him. Everyone knew I wasn't exactly Mr. Nice Guy. I would have kicked Marvin ass before I let him sleep in my bed. Yeah, now shut up and let me sleep. I can't wait to see the ass of Brian Hood cry like a baby tomorrow. The coach hasn't talked with you yet. The coach hasn't talked with you yet. I asked, settling in on the most uncomfortable air mattress in history. Not yet. He thought he could be a dick to us, stitching on us. Dick. Brian had caught us smoke weed in the locker room, and the next day he told the coach, hoping that the coach would throw us off the team. Threw us a new sure the coach threw us a new one, but he didn't have the luxury of cutting his best players over a pair of joints. He played dumb and lashed out at Brian for turning his back on the team. Is he gonna cut him? Is he gonna cut him? No, but he won't be captain anymore. I stretched I stretched out my arms and turned out the light when I jumped. What the fuck did you take off your boxers, James? I sleep naked. Didn't you know that? He, he remarked innocently. What the fuck is your problem with that, Jax? We shower together 2 times a week after practice. But I turn around every time to not stare at how fucking perfect you are. Please shut up and go to bed. He fell asleep. I hit my pillow. He fell asleep. I hit my head on the pillow. I couldn't relax. I put on some pants and went outside to get some air. I thought I was alone, but as soon as the smell of a cigar hit my nostrils, I realized that I was mistaken. My grandpa was smoking on the porch, swinging. He was in all of it, with thick whiskers and permanently furrowed brows. And a veterinarian to shut permanently furrowed brows. Permanently furrowed brows. In Vietnam, they shot at his ear, but he could hear perfectly out of his other one. There's one with you. I heard he's a friend. He's crushing here. He's crushing here. You never brought a pretty girl here. He gripped, swallowing the smoke. In case that, in that case, in that case, you wouldn't give me crap because I brought a girl here to spend the night. I pushed him, making him grimace with disappointment. With disappointment. In that case, your old man would be busting into tears. Jax, I froze. What? I don't like that you say with other men. Not your job. I was speechless for a little while. I tell you, he's a friend of mine. I had to stop myself and swallow again. It's not the 50s. It's not the 50s, I finished quickly. What that gotta do with anything, son? Grandma pushed on the arms of the chair and slowly got up. I was inundated with the persistent, nauseating smell of cigars. I mean, times have changed and men sleep together even if they're not lovers. That's nothing to be embarrassed by, I explained. Don't you think I didn't sleep with my fellow soldiers? He knit his thick eyebrows. Exactly. You're exactly. You see, it's the same thing. You're the one who's different, Jax. The word stabbed me in the gut. Good night, Grandpa. I turned to the French door, but he pointed in in index finger at the sky. Always think always think of your dad when you do when what you do, Jax. Jax. And ask yourself if he'd be proud of you. And ask yourself if he'd be proud of you. It didn't seem like a good time to think about either of my parents. They died 2 years ago when they were picking me up from a party. They did. They were picking me up from a party that they didn't even want me to go to. I shook my head, and without saying anything more, I went back to my room, feeling like the lowest of the low. Jim was asleep on your stomach, both of his arms covered by the pillow and the sheet that caressed his thighs. He was a portrait of perfection. My eyes didn't stay open long. I awoke with the start of the s- awoke I awoke with the start to the smell of coffee in my nostrils. Where'd that come from? I asked, stretching out. My back cracked a bunch of times. I didn't sleep so badly that I felt every muscle so screaming at me. Your grandma brought it to me. Your grandma brought it to me, replied James hoarsely, lying on my bed, looking at his phone. Were you at least wearing underwear when she opened the door? I barely got I barely got up of I barely got up off the floor. I just woke up. I just saw her what I looked like in all my glory. I modified my jaw dropped. Are you a fucking idiot? Of course I had underwear on. He rushed to clarify when he realized that I took it literally. I looked in the oval mirror on the wall. The bags under my eyes were the first thing I noticed. What is it? Taylor? I pointed at his phone. What I saw on the screen was clearly the two tits. She was trying to she was trying to get me to forgive her for the other day. But it won't work. We're over. She always forgiving you for everything, but Whose fucking side are you on, Jax? He snapped, getting off the bed. Pick up an abandoned eye pencil on the desk and approached me. After the way she chewed me out in theater class, I'm not seeing her again. Not ever if she gets down. Not ever if she gets down on her knees. He held my chin between his thumb and index finger. He concentrated and pointed the pencil at my eyelids, letting the soft brush, letting the soft part brush along the rims. Don't you put it on too? I asked. No, my eyes are sensitive. First thing in the morning, I start to well up. The ease with the ease with the ease which the ease with which James told me certain things always left me breathless. I wanted to be with him for him to accept me for who I was, and maybe for what I thought I was right then, and maybe for what I thought I was right then, right then, right then. I tried everything I could to make myself look gross, but nothing compared to this. I could have screamed it at the top of my lungs to get it to get it off my chest. I knew my friends wouldn't then judge me. James was the first one first one to not label himself. He was the first one to feel free, but I wasn't like that. The merge thought of showing myself for exactly who I was ate away at me. As short as James headed it for the door, as James headed it for the door. See you at practice. Where are you going? I asked, perplexed. I'm going home to change. I'm going home to change. Do you want to borrow something? I pointed to the closet as he smiled. Do you want to borrow something? I pointed to the chest. I pointed to the chest. He smiled. You're doing me a solid. Thank you very much. I watched him fling the closet door open and rummage through. So what are you doing with Hood to, today? So what are you doing with Hood today? Jackson, you know that I never think before I act. Thinking is really it. I rely on pure inspiration. Quit watching that movie when you're wasting your brains. Gonna run. A Clockwork Orange is A Clockwork Orange is a great movie, and it certainly won't be what Clockwork Orange is a great movie, and it certainly won't be what fucks my brain up. He shoot me. He showed me a quick grin. You don't have anything more subtle than this, do you? Pull out one of my ready colored vests, then bit his lower lip. Why not? The religion teacher will have a stroke if you show up wearing on only this. Where did your uniform go? I asked him, focused on finding mine on the recliner with a pile of clothes that had been on it for days. I've been asking myself the same thing, he muttered grabbing gray before grabbing a gray hoodie. Hey, this is mine, he shouted, and I froze. Oh yeah? I tried to use the most innocent voice possible, but he caught me red-handed. Yeah, what the fuck is it doing here? He asked. Then sniffed it. Do you at least wash it? Um, it reeks of smoke and it reeks of smoke in the scent of my shower gel. Nasty. You could have washed it. Then I put it all on. I forgot I even had it. He put on my favorite vest over his hoodie. All right, I'm going. I'll see you at school. Fuck no. Fuck no. Don't take it away from me. I thought I thought to the 24 Ari.